Jose Manuel, want to ask you about what the goals should be in terms of getting
Please.
vaccines to less developed and poor countries. And some experts are calling on G7 leaders to share at least 1 billion and aim for 2 billion vaccines to low and middle income countries by the end of the year, and trying to get to 60 to 70% vaccination in every country by 2022. Is this a realistic goal?
I think it is. If there is a political will, we can do it. In fact, our goal with COVAX is by the end of this year, beginning of next year, to have 1.8 billion doses delivered. And in fact, after these announcements, and I expect to hear other announcements in the G7, and in fact, in other occasions, just last week, I was co-hosting with the Prime Minister of Japan a pledging conference that was also very important from a financial point of view. And by the way, there was before that another investment event co-hosted by Gavi and Secretary Blinken. So we are really mobilizing now all the goodwill in the world. And I think that it's not just a question of justice, but it's a question of our self-interest, including the interest of the more developed countries, because it's obvious that the more time we allow the virus to be circulating, the more probable will be to have more infections and reinfections, new variants, potentially more transmissible and more dangerous. By the way, we are seeing that with some new variants. So it's impossible to think that we are going to solve this matter just, let's say, in the United States and in Europe or in some other developed countries. We cannot keep the world closed forever. We have to live, get out of these lockdowns. And so that's why we are saying, just this morning, I was speaking with my good friend, the executive director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, and as she's been saying, the best economic policy today is vaccination, better than fiscal policy or monetary policy. Of course, we need the support of fiscal policy and monetary policy. But when I say vaccination, let me also just add to what Alan was saying. Of course, that means also clean water, sanitation, hygiene. And one of the points about this is that when we, for instance, in Gavi, that have been vaccinating children all over the world, but specifically on the most vulnerable societies, when we go and try to vaccinate those children, that's an entry point where we see that also a problem very often is a problem of the lack of basic hygiene, of not washing their hands. And by the way, I'm very proud of the cooperation that Gavi has kept with namely with our friend Alain, which I would say Gavi champion, and Unilever. We have some specific partnerships, public-private partnerships, in fact, in India and Indonesia, where we have seen the results of preventing action. So I think it's a moment. I mean, if this is not a wake-up call for the world, when will we have it? I think this is a wake-up call for the world of the need to address the issue of public health, not only because it's a human issue, but also from the economic impact. So when we have to think about public health, we have to think this as well in terms of economic resilience. That's why I think there is now a strong case for generosity, solidarity, but also in the interest of the developed world and I'd say, the global economy.